This anime asked a weird question. What if Japan survived the apocalypse and somehow ended up back in the Middle Ages? Because that's exactly what happens in Nippon Sangoku. Office buildings stand empty and gutted, repurposed as fortresses by warlords who've never seen a working elevator. A currency system gets replaced by feudal tribute. Kids who've never known electricity learn to read from textbooks salvaged out of schools that don't exist anymore. And Japan itself fractures into 3 rival territories, each one convinced they're the rightful heir to a country that technically doesn't exist anymore. That's the world of Nippon Sangoku, a country trying to rebuild itself after forgetting what it used to be. And somehow, almost nobody talked about it. The series aired during one of the most stacked anime seasons in years, surrounded by bigger franchises and louder fan bases. So while everyone else was busy watching the season's heavy hitters, one of the most interesting settings in anime quietly slipped under the radar. The person guiding us through that world is Alteru Misumi. Not a soldier, not a swordsman. A former agricultural officer obsessed with the history of the Japan that no longer exists. When tragedy throws him into the middle of wars, politics, and power struggles, he doesn't survive through strength. He survives through understanding, through knowledge, through remembering things everyone else forgot. That's where the Death Note and Code Geass comparisons start to make sense. Not because Alteru is some superhuman mastermind, but because watching him dismantle people with logic is just as satisfying as watching a brilliant move on a chessboard. But even then, the real star of the show is the world around him, a world that feels exhausted. The colors are drained, the cities are hollow. The old world survives only in fragments. And underneath all of it is Kevin Penkin's soundtrack, giving every scene the feeling that you're walking through the ghost of a civilization. Most post-apocalyptic stories ask how humanity survives. Nippon Sangoku asks something stranger. What happens after survival? What happens when an entire country forgets what it used to be? That's the question sitting underneath every part of this story, and it's the reason I still can't stop thinking about it.